Hey, here we are. Another day down, working on the 2001 Dodge 2500. 3/4 ton, Cummins, 4-wheel drive, automatic, yada yada yada, you know the deal. Today we spent cleaning up the garage some. I used to have a bunch of stuff over there. I had tools scattered everywhere. This place was a freaking mess. So, didn't do a whole lot on the cab tonight, honestly. Got the doors on last week. Got all the panels, gaps lined up, and everything's good. Got the handles out of this for body prep. Got the interior cleaned out of all the tools and junk. So, dog bed in here now. I was grinding on stuff. Wanted to not hurt the dog's ears. So I think we'll be back down this weekend. Kristen and I will to get the interior put back in it. Should be pretty well ready to go there. Turn the keys off. I'll kill the battery. But anyway, see the doors closed nice. I did put 5 gallons of fuel in it tonight. I got the bumper mounted. Got to get that sanded down and primed and ready for paint. Got the bench more or less cleaned up. Everything should be pretty well cleaned up in here. I got all my stuff brought over here. Back seat, front seat. Got the passenger door taken care of. All my old parts out of the garage, pretty well clean. We'll get to that in a second. Last week when I was down, I got this bedside welded in place. Got to get it all smoothed out yet. Had a little screw up here. Apparently these doors, or these bedsides, sorry, are side specific. So one side is one and one side is the other. I didn't know that. So I mocked up the driver's side on the passenger side, marked it all out, cut it out. Great. Went to go weld it in place, and son of a bitch, the body lines don't match. That's unfortunate. So luckily, the front here, I had enough of what I cut out to cut a strip and put it in place, and I think we're in pretty good shape there. So I gotta get that smoothed out and sanded and whatnot. A little bit of Bondo to cover up the nasty gaps. And tonight, I did this side. I did get it welded all the way in. I got it smoothed out with the grinder. And I got just a light coat of Bondo on there right now to cover up the gaps. So my hardener started to cream up, or started to solid up on me, get hard. So I didn't get as smooth as I wanted to with the putty knife, but it's firming up here pretty quick. Figured I'm going to wait another 15 minutes or so, let it set, and I'll throw a light sanding on it, and we'll see how far we get there. That's all the crap that came out of it. You can see it's pretty grody. But anyway, we're rounding the bend here. A couple little details we got done last week. Driver's side doors open and close the way they're supposed to. This cab corner turned out really nice. I challenge you to tell me where the blend was in that. Even all the way down where it gaps up here. There's the dog. Daisy, get up there. Get up there. Yep, that's her hang out while we're here. We got this little guy up here taken care of. I got to get a few little pieces of weld on that and then grind it smooth and Bondo and prime and yada yada yada. Get a drink, baby girl. The other side, kind of go over it real quick while we're here. It's all welded in place. Still needs a little bit of touch-up work. You know, these things are never perfect. A welder and body man, I am not. So this one, a little bit more of a booger job here. The cab corner ends here, and we had bad rust all the way up into here, so we had to cut a section of rocker panel out and weld it into a piece. And as you can see, we still have some work to do here. Dad said he should be working on it this week. The back side of it, let me lay down here. Back side of it's not too bad. Still just needs a little bit more work. It's got a new piece in here riveted in, welded. I'll go through all this stuff and clean it up and paint. As you can see, the cab mounts towards the end here starting to get problematic. But I'm going to spend a day under here with a wire wheel and get all the scale stuff knocked down and paint the frame under here, so that way the entire frame and cab and everything's been de-rustified as much as we can for as deep as we're going to go. And painted, so it shouldn't get much worse. But anyway, say hi to Daisy. She's my passenger, my co-captain. Been riding down here with me every week and working on this thing. She knows about as much of it as I do. So left on the to-do list, just to go over this fully, I have a fuel filter or a fuel pressure gauge from Pro to mount on the column. I gotta get that plumbed in. I have a oil filter, a new oil, and an air filter. I gotta get all the lug nuts put back on it. I have the tail lights put back into bed. Once the bed gets put back on, the bed to put back on. I have to bleed the brakes. I have to wire up the trailer lights, which I have a new connector for. When I put the fuel in this thing today, I learned, thankfully, that my problem with this, where it's leaking, is actually right here, not up here. Granted, this needs replaced too, but it's not going to be the end of the world if it doesn't happen today. So I need to get that cleaned up. I need to get a new clamp for that. The bed stuff, I do have, when this truck was brand new, like a week old, it got a high lift bucket dropped on this side where we were getting sawdust for the horses. So we took it to the body shop, and you know, the guys put it all back together and supposedly did it right. But now that we pulled this bed off, we found that instead of welding this new bed side onto the side or onto the rest of it, they just put a few bolts in it, and one of those bolts has since broken. So I'm going to clean this gap up here a little bit in here and lay some good weld in there. That way it's nice and solid. If you listen, it's got a nice little squeak to it when it runs around. So we'll get that solidified. So yeah, we got to do the brake lines, the trailer lights. Got to finish the body work on the bed. Finish the body work on the other side. Wire wheel and paint the underneath of the cab. I do have the fenders in and set. These doors, or these gaps here, this is about as good as they're going to be. They're far from good, but good from far. Get the headlights put back in it. I got a little crack in the grill right here that I want to see if I can, I don't know, glue or something, or just see if I can keep it from cracking any further. You get the inner fender wells in it, both sides. I got to get this stupid goo off of here from where the 1500 sticker was. All that'll happen in body work. But my door handle's in it. Got to finish this cab corner a little bit. I have to buy new bed bolts. I got to do something with this exhaust. You know,